So in most jurisdictions, yeah, I mean, it's not it is a self-quarantine, I think that most people will be dealing with, but most states in the United States right now are under complete lockdown, much like Nepal is. So the expectation is that people will self-quarantine for the period, 14 days. But even so, even after that, the reality is that most Americans are self-quarantining these days due to the nationwide lockdown. Well, we're in contact with people all across the country, and many of them have been here for many years. It's the byproduct of such a long and close relationship that we have a lot of Americans who live here and who have connections with Nepal that are equal to their connections back home. Many of them have decided to stay. So we will remain in close contact with them to sort of gauge their needs. That's the core function of what an embassy does in a crisis time. But the reality is that many Americans will stay here, will go through this crisis right alongside their Nepali brothers and sisters. Well, I think so many of the Americans who stay here, just like any Nepali, that we rely on local institutions and local capacities. That the embassy isn't in a position of actually providing the kinds of services that would normally be reserved for the government. But we work very closely with our Nepali counterparts. We want to hear from American citizens about the needs and about what they're facing to see that we can be as helpful as possible. I'm sorry, I can't give you a more specific idea about the number of Americans here because we know that there are a great number that left when commercial means were available, which was until very recently an opportunity. Then, of course, through these two facilitated flights, we've had more leave. So we'll be taking a look at those numbers and trying to get a sense because sometimes we don't know that people have actually departed, even if they're registered with us. So in the next week, we're going to be taking a look at that and to figure out the nature of that. I think that every American we've had a chance to talk to has a story to tell, and the vast majority, I can tell you the absolute vast majority have been stories of friendship and kindness and hospitality. Complicated, to be sure, but for example, I just had a chance to talk to an American who was in Pokhara at a small guest house, and over the couple of weeks that they were there, they began cooking for other guests, they began cooking for local staff, they began pooling their resources together with Nepali and other nationals who were, for the moment, locked in place. That's an amazing story. It's a complicated, awful, critical time. I think every time I hear a story about that kind of hope, that kind of kindness and hospitality, that it doesn't matter what nationality you are, that kind of kindness really prevails. And I've been really, really encouraged when I see that.